Hi, you're listening to Stop Being Hateful, a Bravo and pop culture podcast, and I'm your host, Lori Fogg. And we're back, reporting to you live from the horse therapy session at Was it in Arizona? I think it was in Arizona. Reporting to you live from the horse therapy session in Arizona. This is Stop Being Hateful. We took a little...
did horse therapy?
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
What?
When they had to touch the foot.
Oh, with the guy, with Al...
Yeah, I don't know what that's called, but I just call it horse therapy.
Yeah, I think it was called horse therapy. I think you're right. Yeah, there's a
There's
therapist.
a therapist and there's a horse, so it's just horse therapy.
Goat yoga is just...
Yoga with goats.
They're not even a part of doing yoga. They're just around.
Yeah, I don't get that. Because, couldn't it just, I feel like the thing that would get me out of my Zen space is, a goat peed on me.
It's a baby goat.
So their poops are very small.
And their pees are very small.
But still, it's, gotta smell kind of funny.
I think the whole idea is, they only weigh, 10, 20 pounds.
So it's, when it's hopped on your back, you don't feel it?
No, you feel it. It's just, they goats balance. So, they're balancing and stretching and doing all this weird stuff.
And you're also... I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
There's a few places here that do that.
I mean, I wouldn't do it. I get, what if they just pooped on you?
I might do it.
You might.
I don't know. It's 2021. Anything can happen. Producer Kennedy is going crazy. Dale and Clare have broken up. We've been gone for a little while, but...
We had a little sabbatical.
We took a little sabbatical. We did some soul searching.
We had a real crazy Conor McGregor fight night. And we were out for 2 weeks.
Out for 2 weeks, just like Conor.
Oh my gosh, he got knocked out by Poirier.
I didn't even watch the fight.
Yeah, Lori was knocked out.
I fell asleep at
hours
11:30.
before. Yeah, she was asleep hours before.
I get up very early. Yeah, Dale and Clare are broken up.
Surprised? No one.
I'm surprised. If you look at the data...
I think if you go back in the episodes, you would probably say the opposite.
But I love love. So I hate seeing when people fail at love.
But you do... I mean,
I do love drama.
I don't like Claire. And I don't like Claire.
I wonder if he... I'm afraid she's going to block me if I DM her, but I am very curious to know if she showed him the video of her dad.
Interesting.
Because, I feel like that's something that,
fill the audience in if they don't know.
Well, she's got that video that she said her dad made, her late father made for somebody to watch when she gets engaged. And she's been engaged twice now.
I thought it was when they got... And she showed Juan Pablo it? Or
no, she showed, I forget his name. He was the French guy on Bachelor Winter Games. Benoit. Benoit was his name. And they were engaged.
And she showed it to him.
I don't know. They never said anything about it. I think she made that up for the show. Because, when... I didn't watch Bachelor Winter Games, but I asked my mom about it because she did watch it. And she said that they never mentioned it on the show. So I'm like, well, I don't really know... That feels like an integral detail that you'd bring up.
And Claire, I'm not gonna say Claire's not trustworthy, but Claire, just spins things and she just tells tall tales.
And this is The Bachelor, it's really about the producers more than anything else. So it's who knows? Maybe that was a story they told her to say, or whatever. But Dale did an Instagram live. He's been crying a lot.
Wait, he's been crying a lot?
I mean, his video when they did, after he posted the thing that was just so you guys know, Claire and I are not together, which apparently she didn't know about.
She didn't know they weren't together?
I think that she knew that they weren't together, but I don't think she knew that he was going to come out and say it in that way. I think, in those situations, usually you have, a...
Well, you wouldn't... my opinion would just be, wouldn't the more famous person, which I feel like Claire's more... just slightly...
Infinitely more famous.
Just, I don't know about infinitely, but just slightly more famous than Dale, you know?
Yeah, I feel like she should have been the one to,
break it to us.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were on, a break, and then he made that post, and she was like, oh, we're, broken up. Mm-hmm. Or maybe she didn't know that they were going to...
Announce it like that.
Yeah, maybe
Either way, I think, Dale is just, kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for him at all. It kind of does look like all the guys were right.
Which is kind of funny, because it's but, I feel like Dale was just but guys, we're all here for the same thing.
For pussy.
To get on TV and get some pussy.
Yeah, to get on TV.
Get pussy on TV.
It's tier 1, tier 2. But Zach and Tasha are still together, so...
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to see how that goes. Well, Dylan Barber, who was on Hannah Brown's season of The Bachelorette, went on, a Twitter rant recently and was like, it is all production. There is nothing natural or organic or, The Bachelorette has no choice in who stays or who goes. like it's all, which is like multiple people have come forward and said that. So it's kind of starting to look like this show has to do something, I feel like, because it's like more and more of these people are coming out and saying like, oh,
the age of social media is really not doing it for him.
Blake Horstman, who was on Bachelor, Horstman, I think the T is silent, but I told you about him because he was the guy who brought Becca Kufrin to that school where he had the school shooting on for his hometown date. Oh god, which was like crazy. But he was on Bachelor in Paradise, and he got, like, reamed. Like, he kind of got, like, a lot of shit because he had slept with a contestant who was also on Bachelor in Paradise. And, like, I guess they were trying to say, like, he's a player. He's in it for... I didn't watch the season. I actually, like, don't really remember that much about it. But I remember he came forward and was like, they gave me all... They, like, made this storyline about me, made me to be the villain, and then did nothing for me when I was, like, having a lot of, like, issues, like, getting the blowback from social media. Like, just, like... Because these people get, like, death threats. Do you know what I mean? It's, like... It's not like, I feel like, I don't know of a show where a contestant who was edited badly doesn't get, like, a lot of hate online. So it's like, and then they did that.
But wouldn't you, I kind of hear that and go, yeah, bro, comes with the territory. Like, you're going on a dating show that just has a bunch of middle-aged women.
For fans.
That all they do is spend time, like, ranting on Facebook anyways. It's like, yeah, you could get a lot of hate.
Yeah, but I do feel like... Yeah, and I guess it's like, they can only edit what they see or what's there.
Yeah, it's like, you still did it.
But it's like, I do understand that, like, you're put in a situation, and it's like, if you're not maybe, like, aware, like, emotionally intelligent enough to react in a certain way that, like, you know, it definitely is, I think it's a test for the psyche to be on any of these shows.
Well, you know, I haven't watched any other Bachelor season, thank God. And, like, they showed, you were telling me there was a lot of stuff that they've never done before, like how Claire just sent multiple guys home, how they were like they were showing how the production, you know, was keeping the
breaking of the fifth or the fourth
just
wall,
it was pretty constant, and then like to the point where like I remember like they were like, oh yeah, we've been waiting in this waiting room for 3 hours, and
they like never addressed that on like the other seasons.
Yeah, and you told me that, but it's like, I mean, if yeah, the show does not have any walls.
They need you know, to, like...
At least this last season.
Yeah, they definitely... And, like, with COVID, like, it's like they need to... And with social media, they need to do something to the game where it's like they can mitigate or at least hide the production hand. Because right now I feel like it's too obvious. Because they... Like, with Matt's season, they're bringing in multiple girls. And it's like... They really are just, like, trying to throw the contestants and trying to make it so these men or women don't find love. With all these, like... You know? Mm-hmm. Like, with a 2-on-1 date, like, who the fuck goes on a 2-on-1 date in real life?
Also, how do you let... Speaking of Dale, how do you let Bathroomgate happen?
How do you, like, how do you let one man's mission just go unstopped? I mean, they must have played... I feel like they had to have played this up.
There was too many spots... There was too many times... Do you think when she was like, that's him?
I think the production was like, this is the storyline we're gonna go with. Yeah,
because there was just so many times where like he came out of nowhere and was like, yeah, production's like, go.
Yeah, production had to have known where he was going. They had to have, like, I don't know how big La Quinta was, but I mean, I don't imagine that if I went to somebody's room once, I could find my way there again in like a huge resort.
Oh yeah, it's a resort.
They had to have helped him get there or something. Like the guy, yeah. But
I mean, I worked at a hotel for like 2 months. I'd get lost, you know.
They're huge. Yeah, I'm like, I haven't been to a hotel I think in like years, but like
hotels are pretty cool.
I love hotels.
There's a Marriott near where I work, and it's like on a hill, and it has like this. I'm like, when I drive in, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's like it looks. Well, no, it looks like kind of like a castle on a hill. Yeah. But then I'm just like, oh, it's a Marriott overlooking a Connecticut interstate.
We've been watching a lot of Hotel Hell, so we're really in a place of hotels.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've seen it all. We're just getting caught up on the Hotel Hell meta.
The woman looks like a witch. That was nuts. That woman, like she pooped on the floor. And
oh my gosh, she was like, all the people are almost in complete denial.
Yeah,
and then,
which is how you get $100,000.
Yeah, and then one of their like younger tech savvy employees is like, hey, let's go on, let me submit a video. Let's get on television. It'll be great for...
I just think these people think they're going to get renovations, and then they never excavate, like, why they would get renovations, or, like, the circumstances the renovations would be under.
Yeah, it's like, or they just think, like, oh, I'm just going to go on this, he's going to yell at me a little bit, and then I'm going to get...
Or it's going to be, like, for TV, so it's not real, but it's like, no, he's very clearly, like, really upset.
It's not just, like... Because it's funny, because you watch Ramsey and Kitchen Nightmares, Hotel Hell, it's like, a lot of the same things happen over and over again. You know, bad food, bad hygiene, bad chefs. Yeah. But then, like, people they're like, oh, that's not me.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I could never do that. It's like, well, you also don't date the food in your restaurant, so it is you.
Yeah,
that's like a huge... That's insane to me. Anyways, we've also been watching Survivor. It's on Hulu, all 30 seasons, if you're looking to get it on. But there's a caveat.
There are some copyright issues with some of the episodes.
So you'll have, like with season 4, the season I've been looking forward to the most...
First 2 episodes gone.
Axed. I know nothing. I feel like because it's like, well, your mom was saying, fellow Survivor head Maria was saying...
Survivor lore master Maria.
Survivor lore master, really. She was saying that...
OG.
She was saying that, like, you don't really need to watch the first 2 episodes, but, like, I feel like I do have to watch them because that's, like, that's when you... I'm, like, the type of person where if I meet you and I don't like you, there's nothing that really you can... I will grow to accept you. I will grow to maybe get to a place of liking you, but I'll never love you. So the first impression on the show, when they're all, like, jumping off the boat, jumping off the whatever... Like,
they're all taught, you learn who they are, where they're from,
how old they are.
And you get a little... they always, like, have a little tagline, too. Like, I'm here to win.
I'm here to play.
It's like, I'm the real player on this beach. Like, it's always something kind of cringy, but all at the same time...
It says a lot about who they are. Like, okay, like, are they in it for the long con, or are they in it just for the fame? And I always respect a player who's just in it for the fame, especially as the seasons go on. Yes,
because Survivor is a show it's a game show, you know, especially the early seasons and the later seasons, it's like how much of this is produced. But I've read some stuff online that says it's really produced, and I've read some stuff online that says it's not at all. So it's really hard for me to, like... I feel
like the older seasons, you can kind of see, like, this is not produced at all. These people are literally just surviving.
Like, they're so malnourished in season 3.
And it's, like, it's one of those things where it's, like, for me, I never think about, like, oh, like, at this point, like, 2001 was 20 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I've just been alive, like, I've just been living through that, so for me, the chronology of it all doesn't really, like, hit when I'm just thinking about it in the abstract, but when we're watching a TV show that was made in 2001, holy shit, so much has changed in 20 years. Yeah. When that guy was pulling that tick out of that girl's ass, her ass cheek, her butt cheek, I'm sorry, if you kids at home, don't listen to the pod,
It's like...
And he's like, oh, it was a good job. Like, and he's, like, fully, like, in her butt meat, like...
And then when after he does it, he smacks her on the butt and she walks away.
Like, that would have never...
It wouldn't fly today. It would... I mean, 2 years ago, during the height of Me Too, they had a Me Too... Which one girl felt awkward, and then these other 2 girls were like, yo, let's vote him... Let's use this... Let's all say he makes us feel awkward and vote him out.
It's a political game as well.
But it's like, you know, well, it just feels, you know, it just feels bad that one girl, like, actually was like, no,
genuinely uncomfortable.
I'm trapped on an island with a guy who keeps staring at me, and these other girls are like, yeah,
alliance. But, and like, just like how sick these people look. Like, I don't understand how Jeff Probst just sits by and watches these people. These people have open wounds. They have bugs in their wounds. It's so crazy. I don't know. But, you know, I did watch season 3, which takes place in Africa, which is truly crazy. I don't think they've done a season in Africa since then, because I feel like that's a lot of legal issues. That's a lot of, like, international issues. That's a lot of political topics. And there's lions there. And that seems very scary to me. That definitely seems like not a safe way to run your show, not a safe thing for the contestants to be around. But I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to talk about, I was just scrolling through Instagram, which is really all that I do now, and I found Logan from Vanderpump Rules. I believe it was season 5 or season 6 when James and Logan were, like, at the height of their friendship, and then he had been telling people that he had been sleeping with James. There was some controversy around James's sexuality for a little bit, so I found Logan No's Instagram. He's like an art director. He's like pretty famous. He's directed some things that I know. And while I don't find his taste to be exceptionally visionary, he's kind of just like very generic, like Instagram feed-esque. I did find some pictures that he had shot of James, and he looks very like demure. He's like holding a polo stick.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying that I think that Lala, because Lala and him are still friends. He was on Lala's podcast recently. I think that he was hungry for fame and he wanted a spot on the show, and so they conspired to say that James had slept with him to make it seem like James was, like, you know, hiding something or cheating on Raquel.
Are you talking about James and Lala and this guy, or just Lala and this guy?
Lala and Logan, I think. independently, because Lala, I feel like her and James, I do believe, are like twin flames or whatever. I do think that she does see him like as like kind of below her, and like,
see, I never saw them as twin flames. I always saw like James and Lala's relationship is like James is desperate for friendship. He's in a different country. You know, he doesn't.
He's an alcoholic.
He's like a kind of he like has to take care of his family. He's estranged from his father, kind. You know what I mean? Like, so I always kind of saw like Lala was like because James needed someone and Lala needed someone, and they both weren't liked.
Symbiotic.
Yeah, it was like like parasitic almost. They fed off of each other.
Also, my thoughts and condolences to James Kennedy. I think he lost his grandmother recently. It's like he was calling her like Tia or something, and I was like, I think this is his grandmother. It could just be his nanny. I don't know.
I think Tia is aunt.
Okay, so maybe it's
Tia
his aunt.
means aunt in Spanish.
So maybe maybe that's her name. I don't know. He did lose somebody.
Or maybe it's like an adopted family, like, you know, someone from Los Angeles that he got very close to.
Well, there's like pictures of him like as a child with her. So I was like, is this his grandmother? Is this his nanny? Like, who is this? Like,
I think it might be his nanny.
I think it's his nanny. There's no way on God's green earth his mother was that, you know, nurturing with him. Nothing against her, but she did steal Kristen's credit cards to go to the spa. So I'm just correlating that too. That's not a nurturing personality. And that's my little conspiracy theory. So weigh in with that, pump heads. I think about Vanderpump Rules constantly, even though it's not on television. My one hope is that the vaccine rolls out at light speed, Joe Biden does his job, and we can get more Pump Rules. Because I want to see...
I thought Pump Rules was canceled.
Rumor has it that it's been canceled. Rumor has it that it's been shelved, but there's nothing... The Bravo hasn't said anything about it.
Oh,
and none of the cast members have said anything about, like, it being canceled.
Yeah, I thought... It wasn't Jack saying it?
Jax and Brittany are gone. And they were allegedly fired, but there's nothing that says, like... So who's on the show? It's going to be Ariana and Tom, Katie and Tom, Sheena, pregnant Sheena, and James and Raquel.
Stassi's off.
And Lala.
I mean, we lost the big three. We lost Jax, Stassi, and Kristen. You know,
the three craziest cast members.
I mean, like as much love, hate, indifference, they're on the Mount Rushmore of Vanderpump right next to Lisa.
That's
it's Lisa and them three.
I like
and
that.
With that,
and Jiggy's in a little corner.
Oh, well, Jiggy's just a part of
R.I.P.
Lisa's.
Jiggy. All right, well, that's all we got for today. So, we're
gonna get back to it. We're gonna be more regular.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Gonna keep pumping out the memes for all of our followers. You know,
all of our followers. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention Monique Samuels and Ashley Darby are working on a song together. So maybe we'll have a new intro on our hands.
Ooh.
All right.
Anyways, I'm Adam McAvoy.
I'm Lori, and this is Stop Being Hateful. Do you know where the bathroom is? Is that it? Yeah. I'm just trying to find the bathroom.
You should for the bathroom?
This is my time with Claire, actually.
I would like to reclaim my time.